Good evening. This is Weatherman Nick on YouTube. This evening we're going to be talking about our severe weather risk and our tropical risk here, which we do now have Tropical Storm Lee, so more on that later. But we do and we are dealing with now some severe weather towards Oklahoma City this evening, towards Norman and Oklahoma City. This was developed and caused by a small dry front and cold front. This is what I was talking about yesterday and what I've seen by models. A small low pressure system had developed. Now it's a cold front, and we're going to be dealing with that. It's a small divot that causes severe weather. We'll be dealing with it for another 3 days or so, and then that's when we'll be dealing with the possible major hurricane that we'll be dealing with. We do have Tropical Storm Lee once again, but as you can see, most of these storms have a gust front, which is the meaning of it being strong or weakening. Now, earlier I was trying to figure out what this stuff here was. I'm suspecting it's moisture, but it could be anything. Since Oklahoma's been dry lately, to Oklahoma, Texas, Kansas, those areas, I was suspecting that this could be some mosquitoes being um, scoured up by the wind and stuff, but it could also be moisture. It could be noise of wind being sucked into the storm. It could be a lot of many things. I'm going to have to do some research and look at that a little bit more deeper in. But I do think this could be just moisture floating into the storm, and just that's a sign of it strengthening mostly. We got some hail over here towards Verdon, Oklahoma. We got some more hail towards Faxton, Oklahoma. And then we got a gust front here, really strong gust front. So this probably has a really nice shelf cloud to what it looks like with it towards Cole, Washington, Slaughterville, Purcell, Wayne. And this is all in Oklahoma, but this is also stretching out all the way to Springfield, Missouri, and close to Columbia, Missouri. And then we do have spotted showers and thunderstorms over here towards the Alabama, Kentucky, Tennessee, Mississippi area. They're starting to weaken now that we're losing daytime heating and that convective energy. So they're starting to weaken into showers and storms. But if you're in these areas, you'll be dealing with some rain showers later on tonight. Same over here. Flash flooding is an issue over here. We've had been dealing with some heavy rain for the last couple of hours. We've been dealing with some flooding here, and we could be dealing with that as these storms weaken. They'll be moving into close to Murfreesboro and Nashville by later tonight, possibly midnight or 9 o'clock or so, somewhere around there. But we'll be dealing with this flash flooding for a little bit longer as it moves closer to Bowling Green, and it looks like we're going to stay with that heavy rain, but it hopefully should weaken out a little bit more to keep it from flooding. But going ahead and just taking a look at a wide view, nothing much is going on other than a few other rain bands caused by these storms, but it's going to be mostly quiet in the U.S. right now. But we do have a slight risk this evening for the areas in Oklahoma, very far eastern, northeastern Oklahoma, central Missouri, parts of northwestern Arkansas, and then we have a slight risk over here in Wisconsin and Minnesota, northwestern Wisconsin and northeastern and central Minnesota. So we're dealing with that, and then of course we got a marginal risk all through here. Tornado risk 2% up here. Wind risk we got a 15% here and 15% here, and hail risk of 15% here. And that's just the severe weather that's either just now starting or has already happened today. Yeah, we are just now getting ignition with some of these storms to what it looks like. So this is where the low pressure system is actually. And we're just going to kind of, sorry, I forgot to switch scenes. We're going to continue to look at and just pay attention to this. If anything does happen, if we get a bunch of tornado warnings, I will go live for that. But nothing so far, just a severe thunderstorm risk. But we are going to be dealing with this new hurricane. Well, not yet a hurricane, but Tropical Storm Lee is now a tropical storm, as I said earlier. Let me go ahead and switch back to my scenes here. So here's Tropical Storm Lee. It has developed, and it should be. They're already planning it to be a major hurricane by Friday. Well, really, yeah, Thursday. So that's not too far from now. That's 2 days away. But they're expecting it to be a major hurricane. So it's uncertainty if we will be dealing with this in the U.S., but some models are showing this storm to be, or this hurricane, tropical storm, whatever you want to call it at this time, some models are calling it to be a Cat 5 or Category 5. I'm not going to say that it will happen, but I'm going to say it could happen. In my opinion, I think it could go to a Cat 4, but we're just going to continue watching. That is still a major hurricane, but it could either be a fish storm or it could be a actual landfall storm that could affect the U.S. But here it is right here around Sunday, September 10th. That's when it could be a major hurricane, possible Cat 3, Cat 4, Cat 5. And this is GFS here. So this is what GFS is showing. The nice little thing here that we're seeing is that trough that we're having, that we could have another possible severe weather day. And the next several days, we could have a new severe weather risk towards our Oklahoma, Mississippi, Alabama, all the way over here. We could be dealing with some severe weather, but we could have that trough that will hit, or not will, but could hit the storm and push it away from the North America area and save us from landfall. But this is too far out. This is almost 220. Well, this is 228 models. But what this is, though, it's just kind of look out at it. But it's too far for us to really know what will happen. This is as far as we can get. About right here is as far as we can get with the models that will be correct. So far, if you're in Puerto Rico, you could be dealing with some flooding issues if the rain bands just does affect you, and you could be dealing with other issues like that. You could be dealing with some other flooding and rip current issues, definitely, and more like that. But we could have a trough that could develop down here and cause us some issues. And going ahead and looking at what's going on over here in Oklahoma. Excuse me. So you can see this line of storms that moves through. This is HRRR. That's the line of storms that move through. And then going ahead and looking over here towards the ignition area of the low pressure system. Here it is right here. You can see it start developing. So I do expect us to start dealing with some storms later on tomorrow, really, and we could be dealing with some hail and storms with that toward Michigan and Indiana, Ohio. But currently, Wisconsin and Minnesota, you could be dealing with a few storms. That's why they got a tornado risk here, because this is where the low pressure system is. Going ahead and looking towards our tomorrow, day 2 outlook, we do have a marginal risk. This is what I was talking about. We have a marginal risk all the way from Mississippi and Alabama all the way to Michigan and Ohio, Pennsylvania, and New York area, or New Jersey. You could be dealing with a few severe weather spots for these areas here. Then moving on to day 3, we could have a marginal risk here and a marginal risk here. So Arkansas, Louisiana, Texas, and Oklahoma. Pennsylvania, New York area, Maine, Virginia, all those areas here could be dealing with some issues with the severe weather, probably. Excuse me, I lost my words there. But I do think we could have an area of an upgrade of a slight risk possibly in this area for tomorrow if forecast models kind of agree on what they're agreeing on now. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at that. You could see, looking at the models here, you can see it kind of turn into a windbag here and then start. So Nashville area, you could be dealing with a few strong storms, and same with Alabama area. You could be dealing with a few strong storms. But right now, just spotty showers and storms this evening, and then tomorrow we could be dealing with some severe storms. But mostly all, we're going to be staying, again, just kind of quiet. Not exactly quiet in a way, but we're going to stay quiet from big severe weather outbreaks. But I'll be keeping you guys updated on any hurricane data And I am going to take a look at one other thing here. We do have a disturbance that has 30% chance of development. So far, it's just a bunch of noise, but we're going to keep watching, and I will keep you guys updated. Thank you guys for watching this video, and stay safe.